Hello and welcome to, it's another Supernatural Sunday. Yeah, we're still on season 1 and this is episode 11. We're halfway through after this one because there's 22 episodes. So yeah, this is season 1, episode 11. It's called Scarecrow. It was first aired on January the 10th, 2006 and it's 42 minutes long. This one starts exactly where the last one finishes, but where you remember where we said they get a phone, Sam and Dean gets a phone call. Wow! Just think, 12 months prior to that phone call, you see it's basically Burkensville, Illinois, a year ago, basically. You see a couple coming out of a cafe stroke garage, small town. So like one business is like a multi-business thing. So yeah, it's a cafe, it's a garage, it's a motor garage and a fill-up garage where you can get Dick Petrol Farm and basically they fix cars as well. Yeah, basically thanking the owners. Thanks for the apple pie and thanks for the heads up on the car. We wouldn't have realised it was broken if you didn't tell us. And yeah, thanks for feeding us while you fix it. And they send them on the way. They give them directions out of town, back on the highway. And anyway, next minute you knew, they're driving down this really dark road and basically break down in front of this orchard. And yeah, they just they get the phones out to see if they've got signal, but they haven't got any signal. So they have a look outside and there's a light at a very long basically pathway into this orchard. There's a light on, a little cabin, wooden cabin, and there's a light on. So they say the husband, it's a husband and wife or boyfriend girlfriend, say they're just married. The husband says, come on, let's head towards that cabin and see if there's anybody there. And yeah, they get out the car and this orchard is just completely creepy, like, you know, rows upon rows of apples, but like, you know, it's anyway. And they come across this really creepy scarecrow, literally, you know, hooked up on this cross, and it's like it's knitted, it's like it's stitched together, like a handmade stitched scarecrow, and they have to walk past this scarecrow to get to the cabin. And the girl looks back and she swears, she jumps, she swears she sees a scarecrow moving. Anyway, so they carry on walking for a bit, and then you see the empty cross where the scarecrow used to be. And yeah, they hear noises and like they're scared now and they're running. And anyway, you see this figure running past in the trees, surrounding them basically. And yeah, it's the scarecrow, and he basically attacks them, and like literally attacks them and kills them. It's got like a hook, like a scythe in his hand as a hand, and that's it. Then it shoots back to modern day. Sam and Dean are laid up in their hotel room, and the phone rings, basically where it cut off like the week before last week's episode, if you remember. So Sam answers the phone. Yes, it's his dad. So this is where this thing begins. Basically, Sam's dad says, don't come and find me, it's too dangerous, I don't want you to follow me, here's some names I want you to look at. And Sam's having none of it. He's saying like, come on, you know, where are you? We've been looking for you. And his dad is just saying, I know what's happened to your girlfriend. I'm very sorry, but it's just too dangerous. basically, yeah, basically says, I know where he is, I'm going to go and find him. And Sam says, let me come and find, the demon with you. And he's like, no. Now anyway, Dean then grabs the phone and he's like, yeah, no worries, okay, yeah. And he writes a list down. And yeah, Sam and Dean, next scene you see is Sam and Dean in the car, and they're arguing, saying, why are we following these names? We need to go in, Sam's like, we need to go to find Dad. And Dean's like, Dad's give us an order. We need to follow it through. So Sam screeches the car to a halt and gets out the car, gets his rucksack and says, right, I'm off. And they argue, say some choice words, and saying Dean was saying like, you're never part of this family. You always wanted to get away. Blah blah blah. Anyway, Sam goes off hitchhiking. Dean says, if you leave now, I'm driving away. Anyway, Dean drives away, and he drives to the small town where the couple was last seen 12 months prior, and basically, it's just the sheriff sitting on a porch on the porch of the sheriff's office, and he goes up to him and tells him he's Frank Bono, and he says, "Oh, you're a drummer from this." He says, "Oh, you're." Anyway, he says, "Yeah." She hands him the missing posters of the couple, from 12 months ago, and the sheriff's like, "No, haven't seen them. They never came through this town. No, haven't heard anything." So Dean's like, all right, he answered that a bit too quick. So anyway, he goes to the local cafe garage to fill up, and goes in and he speaks to the cafe owner, the old man and the old woman, who basically gave the couple, they know all about it, they gave the couple the apple pie and sent them on their way the last 12 months ago. And they basically said, no, we don't know anything, we haven't seen these people. And this girl says, yes you do, it's a bloke with a tattoo from 12 months ago, don't you remember? And then looks at the posters again and goes, oh yeah, there was only here 10 minutes, we filled up with gas and sent them on their way. Haven't seen their hair nor hearing of them since. So Sam's like, Dean's like, hang on a minute, Anyway, so can you head me in the right direction then? He said, yeah, they said we sent them so-and-so way, and so Dean goes off. By this time, it's still light. Yeah, and he goes off, and anyway, as he's driving past the orchard, his alarm goes off on his ghost finder. The F meter, RAF meter, whatever it's called. So anyway, he stops the car outside the thing, and his alarm's going wow bad, So he gets out the car, and he goes into the orchard, and he sees the Scarecrow, and he looks at the Scarecrow and goes, "You're an ugly bastard, aren't you?" And anyway, he takes a closer look at the Scarecrow, all knitted, all hand sewn, like all, old leathery leather. It looks like leather and new leather all stitched together, different cuts. Anyway, looks on his arm and the tattoo. It says a tattoo, and he looks at the picture of the missing guy, and it's the same tattoo. So literally, like, Dean's like, hang on a minute, this tattoo, this Scarecrow is made up of the missing people. So he gets in his car and he basically drives back to the town. But in between that, Sam is hitchhiking, and he comes across this girl sat on the floor with her headphones on, and scares her, and like apologizes and says, I take it you're hitchhiking as what, same as me. And she's like, oh bloody hell, yeah. Anyway, this van drives up and says, I'll take you but not him. So she gets in the van and drives up. and then it goes back to Dean at the gas station and meet the girl and asking her questions basically as she's filling up petrol for him again. And he asks her, you know, how's the town? She said, yeah, we're brilliant. You know, it's surprising, you know, other towns around us have fallen apart. You know, they're ghost towns, but we seem to be thriving here. Yeah, we see, you know, we seem to be thriving, and we've got a really good business going, and yeah, and so Dean's like, you know, puts two and two together, and something's fishy going on, and he's thinking, well, you know, with the dates and all that, and yeah, so then it cuts back to Sam, and by this time Sam's walked to the local bus station and asks when the next bus is, and there's no buses until tomorrow. So as he turns around, he sees the young girl again, sat on the floor again, listening to a radio, and he said, "Fancy meeting you here?" And she goes, "Oh, it's the creepy guy from the road." He said, "I was creepy. What about that van driver?" She said, "I know, he was all hands. That's why I'm here." So they get to talking, and she tells him a story about her you know, how bad her family was, and Sam's like not saying, but he said he can relate because his family's the same and all this. So yeah, by this time it's late at night, and Sam's looking at his phone, Dean's looking at his phone, and yeah, Dean anyway, finally one of the two rings each other and basically says, "Yeah, I figured it out." Dean says, "I figured it out. It's a pagan god. It's a scarecrow, and yeah, the town folk are basically feeding them couples and or doing something. And I'm going to the local university and to find out more information. But yeah, it's definitely a pagan god, I think, because of the timings and the time of year and the harvest, and the you know, the other towns around them are falling apart, but they're thriving and all that." So he says, "All right, good luck, and you know, good luck finding Dad and whatever you want to get on in." So puts the phone down, and Sam tells the girl what. The girl asks Sam, "Who was that?" And he said, "That's my brother saying goodbye," basically saying, you know. So anyway, goes back to Dean at the university speaking to the professor, and he said, "Oh, there's a lot of pagan gods. You know, what sort of thing? You know, trying to be very vague. You know how they are." And they're walking down the set of stairs, and he's like, "Well, you know, this. Well, there's a whole load of pagan gods. It could be anything." And Dean's saying, "Well, it's sacrificing couples. It's giving them better crops and prosperity and stuff like that." And "Oh no, I haven't heard about that." Oh, anyway, goes into their office, and there's a big book, leather-bound book, sneakingly, suspiciously looking like human leather, if you know what I mean. But Sam doesn't notice the thing, but you can tell. Anyway, opens this big book, and there's like scrubbing past pages after page, and Dean's like, "Hang on a minute, oh, what about this one?" And like, it's suspiciously the professor was like, "Oh no, that's, oh yeah, look at me." And then Sam's reading it. Yeah, you know, basically couples every 12 months, you know, and the pagan god's a scarecrow. That look, you know, it fits so and so, and how, you know, and basically he finds out how to get rid of the scarecrows, burning the tree. There's normally a great tree, but one tree which is basically yeah, there's basically one tree controlling the whole orchard basically, and all the other trees are from that tree. And each year the orchard gets bigger and bigger and bigger throughout, you know, around. So yeah, so anyway, Sam's just about to leave the office, and the sheriff basically knocks him out with the gun. And I've missed a bit out. When he went back to the thing to get the petrol and spoke to the girl, he noticed there's a car in the garage and said, "Who's that?" He said, "Oh, there's a couple in the cafe. Their car broke down and we're doing a bit of work on the car. We're going to send them on the way in a bit." And basically he goes in the cafe and says to this couple, you know, get gone, you know, you want to be gone before nightfall because these roads are dangerous, blah blah blah. So the owner calls the sheriff, who then basically drives him out of town. And anyway, so Dean is hanging around the town, you know, outskirts of town until nightfall. Drives back to the orchard just in time for this couple's car to break down outside the orchard, and they're in the orchard and literally getting chased by the Scarecrow. Yeah, and Dean basically shoots the Scarecrow, gets the couple, run back, say to the couple, "Get back in your car, get back to the cars, come on, run." They're running, and he's shooting the Scarecrow, and the Scarecrow's chasing them. Anyway, they get out to the outskirts of the orchard, turn around, and then they can't see the Scarecrow. So basically, you know, the Scarecrow didn't get his sacrifice. So anyway, that's when the couple goes, and that's when he's been able to tell Sam that it's a Scarecrow. It's a pagan Scarecrow god, whatever, blah blah blah, and that's why he has to go to the professor. Anyway, so long story short, he gets knocked out by the sheriff, tied up in a basement, and then literally you hears voices, and they and basically the girl who told him all this, or you know, the not the daughter, but the auntie and uncle is her, but she's living with her auntie and uncle at the garage. So basically the old couple at the garage is her auntie and uncle. Anyway, she's chucked down into the basement as well, tied up, and, you know, shouting, "Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?" Anyway, then the town. So it's the sheriff, the garage, and the auntie uncle from the cafe garage, the sheriff, and two other shop owners of the town basically saying, you know, this ain't yeah, we can't just shut our doors and stop and hear the screaming now. We are committing murder. And they said, well, it's for the sacrifices for the town. It's not really murder if, you know, we're not the only ones. It's the whole town is benefiting from us, blah 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 blah. And anyway, they decide, yeah, we've got to have to do it. Anyway, so nightfall comes, and yeah, they tie the girl and Dean to the apple trees, and go and leave them to getting to be sacrificed. And it cuts back to Sam at the bus station, and the bus has turned up, and the girl said to Sam, "Come on, let's get on the bus to find your dad." And Sam goes, "I can't, you better go on your own, I can't go." Dean hasn't, and it's not answering his phone. So she's like, "I can't believe you're going back to your brother." You know, just everything she can to stop him going back to his brother. But no, Dean, Sam, you know, Sam, he needs, you know, Sam and Dean has to be together. So he Anyway, he goes off to find Dean. He finds Dean. Dean hears noises behind him in the orchard, and it's Sam. So they untie them and Sam, and they try and get out the orchard. But there's 4 ways of going, and there's flashlights going, and it's the aunt and uncle stopping them one way, the sheriff stopping them the other, then the other 2 people are stopping them from going. Anyway, so the camera's panning around to all the people going, and all of a sudden the Scarecrow stabs the uncle in the back with the scythe, and he drops to the floor, grabs the auntie, and then with the other hand grabs the leg with the scythe of the uncle and drags him into the forest. So he's got his sacrifice. They all run away. Sam and Dean takes the girl away, and basically get to the cars, and it's by this time at daybreak. So they said, well, in the morning we'll go back and we'll burn this tree if we find it. And she said, there's a tree in the centre of the orchard, and it's got some carvings in it. So anyway, they go back in the morning. She goes with them with a can of petrol, and they burn this tree to the ground basically. And yeah, they burn this tree to the ground, and anyway, they go to the bus station, send the bus, drop the girl on their way, saying you'll be fine. She said, yeah, I'm going to go to and visit. I've got some friends in back where I used to live before my mum and dad passed away and I had to come here. I can stop with them. Sam and Dean then making up and laughing and joking about. Sam says, you need me, you would have been toast without me. And Dean's like thanking him, but not thanking him in a way, if you know what I mean, by saying, yeah, well, you need me, you came back for me, you didn't have to. So anyway, that they get in their car and drive away. Then it's the last scene is they see the girl. You see the girl in a van with this bloke, and he's saying, where do you want to go? And she said, well, if you pull over, I'll tell you. So he thinks he's on a promise. So the van pulls over, the girl opens her bag, pulls out this big bowl with all like carvings on the outside, puts her hand in the bowl, and literally swipes at the bloke's throat, slits his throat, and basically drains the blood from his neck into the bowl, and basically stirs the bowl, starts having a conversation with the bubbling blood, saying, why did you let them go? I had a chance of killing them both. And she's like, oh, okay. And like, she's obviously getting told off or something, or, you listen to me, this is how I want it to be, or something like that. So obviously she, there's something going on there, but then it ends then. But yeah, absolutely brilliant thing. It implies that they imply, what will happen to the town folk, and Sam and Dean, they imply that losing the town, because everything's going to fall apart, the town's going to, their prosperity is going to die because the Scarecrow's dead now, and they're going to lose the town, and think that'll have to be enough. There's no bodies to tell the tale. The Scarecrow burnt up as soon as the tree burnt up. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, at the end. But yeah, what a twist, that girl. She's obviously not a good, she's obviously a demon or something. But yeah, I can't believe it. It's getting good. This is halfway through now. Halfway through the season. So yeah, we've got another 11 episodes to go. And it's, anyway, if you like this sort of thing, give me a thumbs up. If you really like this sort of thing, stick around, give me a subscribe, it's free. And if you're really, interested, tell your friends or like-minded people of the thing, that we can have a, we can, get together and discuss more. So yeah, anyway, see you on the next video. Bye for now.